Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
We are the Markout Movie Podcast. We're together and you're still not saying it together, Brandon?
I'm sorry. I was thinking of Kong and Godzilla.
So today we are watching...
We are the Markout Movie Podcasters.
Today we're watching Godzilla versus King Kong as represented by his shirt. And this guy's doing the most, man. All right. And yeah, so we're watching...
Aaron wants me to be boring. All right.
Godzilla versus Kong.
King Kong versus Godzilla.
No, don't be. Just be normal.
I'm trying to be normal. You won't let me.
What is your normal, Brandon? That's the question then.
It's anything it wants to be.
Good answer, I guess. All right, so Kong versus Godzilla, the showdown, if you will, of the century, right? I mean, this has been a matchup that people have been waiting years for.
Yes, years. Decades.
To sell it down. But yeah.
Since Freddy versus Jason. People have wanted Kong versus Godzilla. Just no one knew about it.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, so let's hit you off with what it's about. Next chapter in the cinematic Monsterverse pits two of the greatest icons in motion picture history against one another. The fearsome Godzilla, or Gojira, depending on where you're at.
Godzilla.
And the mighty Kong. Here they just dropped it down to Kong, but we know he's talking about King Kong, right?
I feel he becomes king in this movie.
With humanity caught in the balance, in the middle, more like it. Starring Kong
and Godzilla.
But it's also got Alexander Skarsgård, the lesser known Skarsgård. No, he's known.
He's known.
Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Sean Uguri, and
they threw in a little bit of Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler, yeah, he's there, somewhere sprinkled off in the middle, plus other folks. But as we always do, Brandon's gonna hit you off with the numbers.
I will hit you with some numbers. Oh man, come on now.
Go ahead.
All right, 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Come on, 74% like on Rotten Tomatoes. Wasn't this up higher though? Like when it came out. 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Yeah, I gave it a good score on Letterboxd. 94% like it on Google. But real quick, I got to get the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
I just got to. I mean, come on. 92%. There we go.
But also, as you can see, it is certified fresh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's certified fresh.
It's certified fresh. So that's something. But yeah, so Godzilla and King Kong, brief talk. So Godzilla, we had Godzilla first come back into the world for us back 99?
2014. Oh, you're going way back.
Going way back.
You're going back to
going Matthew Broderick.
Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
Film.
So
yeah,
with
98, I think.
90 was it 98?
I think so.
It was 98. Yeah.
It was in the late 90s.
Yeah, it was in the 90s. It felt 90s, and so
it did.
But it wasn't Godzilla for the most part. It wasn't the Godzilla that we were used to. But
yeah,
honestly, I didn't hate it. But I
loved it
18.
at the time.
I was 18. But you know, who knew that it took for the Godzilla that we came out with 2014 to really make me appreciate Godzilla. And when I saw that Godzilla, I was like, yes, this is Godzilla. This is all possible because Pacific Rim happened. Because of those movies, people were like, oh yeah, we can do monster movies. We can do Godzilla. We can do Kong.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we started getting these kaiju movies, Godzilla, and then later on we got Skull Island. We
got Skull Island. Come on, let's talk. No, go ahead. No, Skull Island. Okay, for me, Skull Island made me feel like a little kid again. I was in a candy store for 2 hours. It made me feel like such a little kid. I mean, there was a little picture that my ex-girlfriend took, and I was the happiest you've ever seen a guy.
I think I remember you saying
about it. In that picture of his Kong's hand, I'm looking up at him. I was like, man. It was such a great moment for me personally in the cinematic, you know, going to cinemas, watching movies. Yeah, it was like one of the best cinema movies cinematic movies I've ever had the pleasure of going to the movies
movie
to watch.
to see.
Yes, I'll get it out.
You're saying the same thing over and over again.
I know, that's what I do.
But yeah, so that one, because the 2014 Godzilla was okay. It wasn't the greatest. It was great to see Godzilla in action, but we wanted more Godzilla and less.
What they did was they made him Jaws. It was essentially Jaws with Godzilla.
Explain.
Explain. Okay, they built him up all the way through the movie.
Oh, but without showing him. Yeah,
without showing him, and
then when they showed him, it was, and then
it was awesome to see him. I mean,
but they also in this one, and then the sequel to that movie, they also always had nighttime rainy fights where you couldn't see really anything, and they corrected that with this movie. Yeah. Really corrected. We get daytime fights.
Yeah, you get daytime.
But then Kong Skull Island, when that movie happened, that movie just made me feel like, oh man, like this is Kong. It felt great to see. I've always been a fan of King Kong. For me, my love of King Kong started with the Jessica Lange movie from I think it's 78, 79, Kong. And then I remember watching Kong 2, King Kong Lives, which is like early 80s.
Bridges, right?
Yeah. And it wasn't as good, but it was just really cool just to see Kong as a kid. And I didn't think they would. And it was pretty impressive for the 80s because they had big giant animatronics and stuff, and it looked really good. But who knew that we would get to a day and age where we can, they look alive. This movie, Godzilla versus Kong, they look alive.
Yeah.
They look like real.
Yeah, I agree. My first experience loving Kong came not at a movie, but it was at a theme park, Universal Studios, when they actually still had the King Kong ride. Mm-hmm. And I just fell in love with the guy. Riding that, I mean, I felt like I was in a movie, and I got pictures taken with, Kong himself afterwards. And I just became an instant fan, and, eventually saw some of the movies. And I prefer him over Godzilla, but I have appreciation for Godzilla.
Yeah.
And, it's sweet.
I'm gonna bring this up too. My cousin, Jamal, growing up, his parents always bought him the coolest toys, and he had a toy Godzilla, old Tokyo Godzilla type of, he had just a big giant Godzilla and a giant King Kong, and I remember going through his little football toy chest he had. You know what I'm talking about. I remember going through it and trying to look for those. I would also always pulled out Dracula, and he had all the old Universal monsters for some reason. But I remember going and finding those and wanting to find those and play with those, more than say the Ninja Turtles and stuff, because I knew that they were attached to movies, and and so, but King Kong for me has always been the story about King Kong is that I keep wanting to call him a guy. He is a character that was taken from his homeland and brought to a odd land for him, a strange land, and where he was considered a monster, a terrorist, if you will, and killed just for who he was. Versus in his land, he's worshipped as like a king, a god almost, And so, what I like about King Kong is that it's a very sad, tragic story, but this movie, we have him as a hero.
Yeah,
and that's how it should be, because King Kong is very heroic,
Yeah, he is. I actually, how this movie starts, Godzilla.
We'll keep looking up because we have it playing, so we can
he's
reference
attacking, us. Essentially, something's up. It's not just he's turned heel or anything.
Yeah, good reference. Good reference.
Something's up. So yeah, I thought it was a great idea to bring in King. I keep saying King. Bring in Kong.
He's always gonna be King Kong.
Yeah, bringing in Kong as the hero to stop Godzilla. I think it was a great creative decision.
Yeah.
And it was just, man, when you get to the human side of things, okay, yeah, they make some dumb decisions. Like I know a lot of people got a problem with that Billy, I call her 11 from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Her character. A lot of people got a problem with her. And she didn't bother me. The other guy didn't bother me either. And no one really bothered me. Yeah, they do stupid stuff, but they're human characters.
Hey, there's a lot of subplots and side quests.
Yeah. But my biggest issue was Kyle Chandler.
This is they underutilized him.
Yes, but I kind of get it because he was in Peter Jackson's King Kong. I would have loved to seen them two have a scene together.
Yeah, that would have been great. I mean, he was in. Obviously, this man has been in Kong and Godzilla films. Like how many people can say as an actor that they've been in both? So that's pretty impressive. All he needs to be in the Pacific Rim movie, and there you go. But
if they make another one, he probably will be cast.
but yeah, I thought that he was much like Bryan Cranston in the first Godzilla movie. I thought that he was underused.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that he was great, but I wanted more of him. I wanted more of him.
When he dies, the movie.
I wanted more of him. I don't really want the dude from Spy Kids as much.
Spy Kids?
Yeah, the guy
Kick-Ass.
Yeah, but
was he in Spy Kids as well?
He was on Spy Kids.
I didn't know that.
He was the little boy in Spy Kids. All grown up now. That's the same kid.
I didn't know that. I thought he was just the kid from Kick-Ass.
Yeah, but that's who he is. Same guy. Connection.
Yeah.
But and then that's
also
and then the other lady is she's one of the Olsen twins sister, right? She's in the second.
Yeah.
That one? Yeah. But then like you don't hear from them
in
the
Wanda.
sequel. Yeah, I know. I refuse to say it, but no, I don't know much about Wanda. But
you didn't watch the WandaVision show?
Not yet. I'm not there yet. I'm still on Star Trek, guys.
He's gonna be on Star Trek forever.
I'm gonna be there for 2 years, but especially if I gotta go through these slow movies. But anyway,
it's Star Trek.
Anyway, Godzilla.
It's not Star Wars. It's Star Trek.
Well, I got Trek.
I'm not trying to insult any Trekkies.
You sound like you are, but
I have fun with them. That's it.
Let's get to Godzilla and King Kong.
Let's do it.
So, the movie, as Brandon alluded to, starts with Godzilla attacking what it seems to be is turning on America, turning on us and attacking the country or whatnot, and killing folks and all this stuff. But there's more to it, and at the beginning you know that there's more to it. Godzilla is not just turn heel, like you said, and so they figure they need to find someone to get. They need to go get Kong to go ahead and make it to rival him, and so
the only issue though, because they bring in this little girl for this movie. I felt like Kong should have had another movie before this movie.
You felt?
I mean, Godzilla had 2. Kong only gets 1. It's not really fair.
Yeah.
But they could also explain the little girl a little bit better. Could have gave her a bigger story arc. Because she's just there, you didn't.
And I didn't like that. Jump from Skull Island to this.
Yeah.
There's so many things that's unexplained. So in Skull Island, we leave with them leaving Skull Island. Kong staying, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it so long, but he stays. Yeah. So that's the way it leaves off. But in this, we start off with him in what you think is. I guess it is Skull Island, but now it's like a containment unit.
Yeah.
But when would they have had? When would they
I
have
can
done
only assume there is another movie planned to explain this.
Yeah, because that threw me off. I was like, my first thought is he not in Skull Island? Did they just
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking it's bad parenting to use this child as bait. Like, what do they do? Then I realized they had like a special relationship, but still bad parenting. Like, don't do that.
Well, her family's dead.
Well, I know, but this lady is
they explain
her mom now.
Yeah, so. They explain it. I just wish there would have been another movie to set it up.
How do they explain that they created a containment unit for them?
They really, I don't.
They didn't
really recall them explaining that.
When would they have time to do that? like he literally. So
Yeah,
there's a
he
part
just
where like you see Kong, and he grabs a tree and
yeah.
he takes the the leaves off it. I thought he was gonna use a toothpick. I didn't know what he's gonna do, but he takes the tree and then like he sees the little girl, and then like he takes it and just
You know what that scene
pitches it.
reminded me of?
What?
Hulk Hogan and No Holds Barred.
How?
The pole when he takes that pole and he throws it at the camera.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go. That makes sense now. All right. But yeah, so when did they have time to create a containment unit? Like
Well,
so many. I guess it's high enough that Kong can jump and get it,
I
but
think it's been about 60 years
so they know that
from
Kong
Skull
exists.
Island.
Well, we see at the end of Godzilla, King of Monsters, King of all monsters, that then the little, title stuff at the end where they acknowledge Kong is in
Yeah.
his universe.
Plus, one of the characters from Skull Island it was in King of the Monsters.
Well, yeah, you know what? Also, they never brought back up from King of the Monsters, Mothra lady. And where's Mothra? There's so many questions. I have so many questions. I'm not ragging on this movie. It's just that they're like, oh, let's get this out, but then they just don't acknowledge that there's Mothra. They don't acknowledge that, I don't know. There's so many things they didn't acknowledge.
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. They didn't acknowledge it, but was you really expecting that?
I expected not so much the monsters smorgasbord that we had in King of All Monsters. King of All Monsters was called
King of the
right.
Monsters.
King of Monsters, yeah. But I was expecting to see a little bit more as far as like references, so the kind of because they left some stuff hanging
Yeah.
that they want to set up for a Godzilla sequel, but this is our Godzilla sequel, but it's not really. It's more Kong. This is Kong's movie.
This is Kong's movie.
Yeah,
I was
Godzilla
thinking
just
that
happened
the
to be
whole
in it.
time. I was thinking that the whole time. This is a Kong story, and Godzilla's just there.
And that's why you say you think Kong's name should have been first versus
Yes,
Godzilla's.
but I get it. I mean, Godzilla. When you think of it, these monsters, Godzilla's gonna pop in your head first. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has more movies. He's well known.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Godzilla. You know who Godzilla is.
Godzilla,
really,
actually, Godzilla isn't. Kong came out before Godzilla in like years. King Kong came out. I want to say 1930 something. He was one of the earliest.
33, I believe.
Yeah, one of the earliest Universal monsters. No, he's RKO. He's RKO, I believe. So we got a comment. I'm trying to see. Hey. Hey, fam, what's up? Hey, I'm always wondering what your picture is. Is somebody being crushed? Like, what is it? Yeah, but, hey, so yeah, and tell me y'all's thoughts on Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong. But anyway, so yeah, they decide to get King Kong and bring him to Godzilla. Now what?
They put him on that ship. They handcuff him and
Yeah,
chained him all up.
the first fight. The first fight takes place on the ocean.
I loved it.
Which I love that. I hated that Kong was. I felt for Kong because he was chained up.
Yeah.
And he keeps looking like, get these cuffs off of me. I'm thinking, how could you? There's a lot of, how many machinery
Specially
you need
made
to just put those on him. And this is we're approaching the scene where he is like in the water. It's a beautiful scene that Kong is, they tranquilize him and he's captive. But honestly, it really wasn't necessary because he was probably willing to go anyway. You don't think
I
so?
wouldn't say willing.
Well, he's gonna go with the girl. He's gonna go with the little girl. I think he's gonna follow her wherever she goes.
Yeah, because she's the only one.
We're gonna go in and get to the fight scene. Go ahead. And so set it up. They're on the ocean.
They're on the ocean and he's all chained up and Godzilla is coming. And they're like, you gotta free him. And they're trying to attack Godzilla and he's destroying these ships left and right. And they end up playing dead because they think he'll go away. And they finally release Kong. And it's a glorious fight.
Now, the effects, the way that Godzilla looked in this movie, and the way that Kong looked in this movie is magnificent. The fights here, the underwater stuff, I felt for Kong the whole time. 'Cause I'm thinking, oh, please let him loose, let him loose, because Godzilla is not to be taken lightly. But
Oh, of course, no,
but
definitely not.
but yeah, they're fighting, and you don't understand why, but Godzilla's gonna come after whoever.
Yeah.
And Kong is gonna come after whoever. It's like a miscommunication. It reminds me of when Batman versus Superman, in the sense of where Batman saw Superman as a villain,
Yeah.
because he was Kryptonian, not from this earth, and Superman seen Batman as a vigilante who's trying to. So they have this until they team up to fight Doomsday. But yeah,
Yeah.
it just that's how I kind of looked at it in this.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, it wasn't fair. I mean, you do feel sorry for Kong in this fight.
In the first fight. So they had I think they had 3 fights.
Yeah, there's 3 total.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, Kong took an L in all of them, but
I don't think he took an L in the second one.
We're gonna see. So, all right. So in this fight, they're fighting underwater right now, and just he headbutts Kong, Godzilla. Oh man, it's so good to see them two fighting. But you don't want either one of them to really lose because you like them both. That's how I felt.
Oh, I wanted Godzilla to lose.
You want him to lose but live.
Live, yes. I don't want him to die.
Yeah, I can feel that. I'm gonna always root for King Kong. Oh, I still call him King Kong. I don't call him Kong, just Kong. But yeah, and he breaks that.
Oh,
yeah.
It's an awesome moment when he's breaking and he's beating his chest.
Yeah. So, what were your thoughts on this first fight?
I liked it a lot. I love that it was on the ocean. That I love that aspect because it was beautiful to watch. Very cinematic, and you see Kong just jumping in the ocean.
So I mean, Kong is trying to stop Godzilla because he sees Godzilla coming to attack one of the ocean liners on one of the big ocean battleship things, and I don't know. See, I'm not in the military, but he goes to attack it, and Kong jumps like over 2 of them, probably killing a lot of people in the process.
Yeah.
But he goes there to confront Godzilla, and it's just like, man, he's about to hurl this. he hurls a ship with a guy in it. I didn't notice that. He hurled the ship with a dude in it because he doesn't think, well, there's a human life in here. He's like, here's something that I can throw at him.
No, he's thinking, I gotta stop this enemy.
Yeah.
This enemy's attacking this ship and doesn't know why. So yeah, it was. Oh yeah, throw it, Kong. Man. Threw a punch.
Brandon is.
I got into it, man. Oh, and Kong just went down.
But down goes Kong. So and then
Godzilla's going down too, though.
And then they rain napalm or something on. But that's a good right. And then he hits him in the stomach, knocks him down in the water. Actually, Kong pretty much won this fight, though.
No, he loses this one.
So does he?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's charging. I see him charging now. So, see, all right, let me talk about this real quick.
Go ahead.
Godzilla got an unfair advantage. He has.
You think he does?
He has electrical breath.
Yeah.
Or whatever you call that, blue fire thing. That is unfair. But until the end, yeah. But that's unfair.
Kind of like how Batman found a way to stop Superman.
With kryptonite. Yeah, I was gonna say Kryptonian, but kryptonite.
It is very similar. You're actually right. BVS and Kong vs. Godzilla is very similar.
Yeah. But yeah. So this first fight though, and you can feel everything, and they do a really good job with leaving marks on Kong from Godzilla's like scratching and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just fighting one another, and the humans are like pretty much saying, y'all got to do something. But the humans, you got to have humans in this movie. You can't, as much as we love to just have King Kong and Godzilla,
it would be a silent film.
It'd be a silent film. I would be down for it.
I would be absolutely down for it.
But
Because the humans just they make dumb decisions.
Explain them. Explain the dumb decisions. Like at least one. Or should we wait till we get to
Well,
that
it
part?
hasn't happened yet, but when you find out the reason why Godzilla's doing what he's doing,
Yeah, that was a dumb decision.
I get the guy's reasoning for what he's gonna do, but this guy's greedy, you know, and it kind of reminds me of the last Jurassic World film when they, were.
It reminds me of all the Jurassic World films, all the current Jurassic Park films.
How so?
Because they're on the first Jurassic World, they created a dinosaur.
That one dinosaur, yeah.
Because people were bored seeing T-Rexes and things, so they wanted something new.
With T-Rex.
So how do you get bored with T-Rex? But I guess apparently in this universe they did. So they created a new, which we can talk about those movies. I love Jurassic Park, all of them. But anyway,
well, I can't
except
say
for 3. I don't like 3.
I look at the last one. It's
the
worst.
I don't like 2 as much.
But man,
I didn't like the last one either as much. But my point is, they keep wanting to create these dinosaurs, because it's profitable.
Yeah.
And same with this. They want to create something because it's profit in it. It's like the pandemic right now with COVID-19. These companies want to create a vaccine because there's profit within the vaccine.
Yeah, I agree. And you had companies create all these different type of masks, from pop culture to whatever, to get a profit out of the virus. It's quite sad.
Yeah.
So this actually would happen.
This would happen.
It's the craziest thing. What we find stupid, it would actually happen. Someone would create a Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, and that's spoilers. Somebody creates a Mecha Godzilla.
It's not really spoilers. I think they showed him in the trailer.
But the thing is, like what they do is, like, somebody always want to control something.
Yeah.
Like for instance, they want to control Godzilla, but they can't. So they create their own kaiju that they can market, but it backfires on them because when has man created something in a movie like this and it not backfire? When?
Never.
All right. So before says something else. Godzilla versus King Kong, same one. What do we have to do as a species to get Kong and Godzilla to help move the boat from the canal the next time it gets stuck? That's a good question. First, we'll probably have to create Godzilla or King Kong, but it's also what we're saying would be a bad idea.
It'd be a terrible idea.
Don't create these things in real life. But I love that. I love that that they are who they are, and they are still like. I want one thing I didn't think we got in this movie that I wanted, because it seemed like Millie Bobby Brown and Godzilla had such connection in the last movie. I don't think that we ever had that real moment where Godzilla notices her. So they had missed opportunities with Kyle and
It's because she's too busy helping this one guy,
Tyree, Henry, whatever the guy's name is,
prove that he's right about this conspiracy, that they're creating something, they're making Godzilla do these things, and yeah. So I mean, I didn't care for the storyline with the subplot here, but I don't hate it as much as some people do.
So you have Millie Bobby Brown, Tyree Henry. I'm gonna get.
I did like her friend though.
You like the friend? I was gonna say I don't so much like the friend.
I did actually like him. He reminded me of Peter Parker's friend in Spider-Man.
He's unexplainably British for some reason. Brian Tyree Henry. So I know Brian Tyree Henry from ATL. It's called Atlanta, I think it's what it's called.
Wasn't he also in the Child's Play remake?
Yeah, he was in Child's Play remake. But he's in that show. In that show, he's a rapper that his name is Paperboy. But he's really good in it. If that's another show that I suggest you watch, it's
Atlanta.
Yeah. It's got
on FX, right?
It's on FX, yeah.
Still going?
Yeah, absolutely. It just hadn't came out in They had like 2 seasons. I don't know when they're going to come out with another season. They never got canceled, so it's just the pandemic kind of shut everything down. But
it did. It shut a lot down.
But yeah, but I'm glad to see him acting, and he did good in this movie.
Yeah,
I think it's more comic relief than anything else. And you think the friend was too? So they kind of had two comic reliefs.
Yeah, his character actually reminded me of Woody Harrelson's character in 2012. Like he was, I don't know. They both considered crazy.
I remember that. I forgot about that.
But they're actually right about what they're saying. But yeah, he has this little crazy podcast that she listens to, and I mean, it's not the best subplot, but they cast her in this movie. I guess she signed a 2-picture deal.
My cousin put the gorilla for Kong, so he's all about Kong. And let's see, as far as I know, we ain't got nobody else on the podcast mentioning anything. Just want to put it out there. Anybody got any comments? Please, we'll show them if it shows up. But yeah. All right, so we're at the part where they essentially, so as Brandon was saying, Brian Tyree Henry, and Millie Bobby Brown, the other kid, they felt like there was something going on with why Godzilla's acting the way he is. And so they're going to investigate it, and they now are going to be whooshed away to Tokyo or somewhere in Japan. I assume it's Tokyo.
Yeah, because Godzilla returns back to Japan at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I love that they're flying King Kong.
Yeah.
The ship didn't work, so let's fly him.
Yeah. But
it looks like it's in Alaska or
do they
Antarctica.
like tranquilize him every time?
Yeah, I mean, how is she gonna get him on there?
Just like I wouldn't trust humans, man.
But Skarsgård, I didn't care for his character in this movie.
I think that he seemed too villainy, and then when he swerves and becomes more of a face, it doesn't pay off. Like I still don't trust him as a character. And then they have like these random characters that pop up, like that military lady and stuff like that.
Yeah,
the corporation people.
Yeah, you know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of Loki, Tom Hiddleston
in Skull Island.
Yeah, he reminded me a lot of him. Yeah. Just not as likable.
That's what. Well, although there was like, that's the only thing about Skull Island, because Skull Island takes place. No. I love them. Skull Island takes place in like during the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
So in like the late '60s, early the '70s part, and so you would love to see like Loki, the guy to play. You like to see him and people in this, but just it wouldn't make sense because they would be much older, played by different people now.
Yeah.
And so but there's no real connection to Skull Island in this movie other than the very beginning until they get to this monster world thing. But so they got him in Antarctica right now.
Now, honestly, it took a different direction than I was expecting. It became like a sci-fi adventure, almost like Star Wars-y.
Yeah, it really did.
At a certain point, I wasn't expecting that at all, and it kind of threw me for a loop. It was like, okay, that's a different approach. Was you expecting anything like that?
No, this whole second half, I would say this is the second act. I didn't know where it was going.
I didn't either.
So when it went there, I was like, well, let's go. And it made me really wish the whole movie was in that place.
Yeah.
But I like it. Yeah. It's just. So up under the world, can you explain that?
I can't explain how. I think I know what you're talking about when the final fight between
just in the fact that we're referencing. So he's in Antarctica and there's a portal essentially, or hole or something that will take them through the center of the earth into like this. It's essentially Skull Island, but it's not. It's like the middle of the earth. Have you ever seen? If I ask people like you to talk back to me, but have you ever seen Journey to the Center of the Earth? Brandon Fraser, The Rock,
either one, those,
or the original, or read the books. So they go to the center of the earth, and there's all these magnificent creatures, big like dinosaurs and stuff. It's still there. It's still alive. I assume Skull Island is somehow a part of that just has been kept off.
See, we need another movie to explain how we know about this.
Yeah. So yeah, they never explained how because they said in the
There is
King
a
of
lot of
Monsters,
questions.
they said in King of Monsters that Godzilla has traveled through uh, essentially like not sewer, but not pipes, but like different places in the middle of the earth. They kind of underneath the waters. They kind of get him where he needs to be, like little tunnels or whatever.
I would have just said dimensions, but
Yeah, well, not dimensions, but in this, they literally have a dimension.
yeah,
There is a world that is in the middle of the world that has
yeah,
dinosaurs and stuff
yeah.
like.
When it was happening, I didn't know I didn't know how I felt.
Yeah,
But once it started playing out, I was like, oh, I'm digging this.
yeah.
I'm liking this. I don't know.
There's a very Willy Wonka moment where King Kong goes into this tunnel, and like there's colors and it's very like colorful and
Yeah.
80s, like like light shows type of stuff, and they go and you know and it's beautiful, it's great, and then you're like, what's going to be in there, and that's what you wonder. But yeah, well, there's a lot of creatures. There's
Yeah.
upside down. Gravity doesn't work the same there.
Upside down. I love how you kind of referenced Stranger Things.
So that's what we do here. But yeah, you're right. They never reference how they made it because clearly at this point in this movie, you see that man has been there enough to create tunnels, like create metal, form metals and stuff. You know, so Kong is swinging, going into this center of the earth place, real Skull Island. I don't know what you would call it. Um,
I would just say the original Skull Island.
The real Skull Island.
Yeah.
But you're right. Honestly, they never explain how. Like, how did we in the world, our real world, the Earth,
But
get
it
Skull Island?
does go back to Skull Island though, because
Explain.
they entered. I don't want to say another dimension to get to Skull Island during that storm.
Mm-hmm.
But
Do you think? I have a question. I apologize, but do you think that Skull Island is just a part of this, but it's just like somehow they entered that dimension? So whenever you're in Skull Island, you're literally actually there, or do you feel like? Because remember in Skull Island, they kept wanting to go there to a place that no man has gone before. Like they wanted to see what was out there, right?
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And so when they went, that's when they found like all this. I keep well, I don't know why I keep picturing Peter Jackson, but um, but that's the same thing too because they want to enter this world that that nobody has explored before.
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing, and I don't know if it's.
Well, they were shooting a movie though on Peter Jackson.
They were shooting a movie. They were just looking for Skull Island in the movie Skull Island.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know if it's Skull Island. I don't really know. I just enjoyed the ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I do feel like.
I mean, it's not a gripe. It's not a gripe.
No, it's not a gripe. But I would love another movie in between this and Skull Island
to explain.
Yeah.
How we
found out about all this, because it's not referenced in Godzilla King of the Monsters. How we found out about Skull Island. And it definitely wasn't referenced at the end of Skull Island. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions. There's another story there.
Yeah. And there's there's got to be some type of connection. I know we went on for like 2 or 3 hours about Skull Island and this, but there's just, I never knew. So when I watched Skull Island, I just took it as a fact, Brandon, that these military soldiers went through the storm and ended up in this place. Like they survived going through the storm where people typically don't survive to get to that point.
Yeah.
They survived and broke their way through it essentially. And on the other side of that was this island untouched by man other than the natives that was there. And Kong
and John C. Reilly's character.
Yeah. Who was in like the first like in the World War I or II
Yeah.
who ended up there and
With another soldier that he was fighting.
yeah,
Japanese
Japanese soldier. Yeah, so and that's true. So that's how they ended up there. They ended up just crashing there.
Yeah.
Um, and so and end up becoming friends.
Yeah.
Because they had to survive together. Um, but in here, like they have this land this creature was so great. It's like a snake dragon thing.
It kind of reminded me of the creatures from the Skull Island, but more advanced.
Yep. He's just slinging that thing.
That's Kong just slings.
And
he's gonna beat
does
it.
Does it shoot fire out of his mouth? Does it shoot fire?
Nah, I don't think so. It's not Godzilla.
Yeah.
Or
he just tore it in half. Yep, and he's gonna give him a little slushy to drink, little greenness. Hey, he likes. Hey, what can you say, man? You gotta eat, right?
Yeah, you gotta eat.
You know, why not eat some?
But Aaron's getting off. He's getting excited about Kong eating a slushy.
Well, it's okay. Full disclosure, it wasn't really a slushy, guys. It was actually a head of a lizard. Hey, look at these big old crabs, man. Like I didn't even notice this the first time I watched it. Oh, look at that big old thing. Okay, it's a big Komodo dragon thing. But anyway, they're in this center of the earth. I wish more of the movie took place there.
Yeah.
Maybe in the sequel, if they would they make a sequel? I would hope so.
I mean, there's so many more stories you could tell with not just Godzilla, but Kong. I actually think you need a Mothra origin story.
Well, they need to develop the whole Mothra thing from.
Well, I mean, if you do an origin story.
Yeah, I mean, but my only thing is I don't personally. This is me. I don't really like a lot of prequels. I love the movie to advance and not go backwards. That's my biggest gripe with Wonder Woman movies. Is every Wonder Woman standalone has always been set in the past. I'm waiting for it to advance, and it hasn't.
The first Wonder Woman movie,
which was great. I didn't mind it. I like that one.
I originally didn't love it, but watching Wonder Woman 84 made me appreciate it so much more. I liked it a lot, but I didn't like. Everyone is like, it's the greatest DC movie ever, and I was like, it's not that good. But that dog's barking. But I was like, it's not the greatest movie ever, but it was a good origin story for her. But I don't have an issue going back if there's a reason to go back.
Yeah.
And there's a reason to go back here and tell a proper Kong, not a pre-sequel, I guess. To this, it'd be a pre-sequel. I don't know. It'd be before this, and it could explain how we know everything. But I don't know. And how he met the girl, her family, how they got on the island.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know all this stuff.
Let's go ahead real quick. All right,
here comes the second fight.
So
I believe.
So they create Mecha Godzilla, and the kid, like they said, was this like a robot Godzilla? And the kid said it's Mecha Godzilla. How do you know that, kid? How do you know? But anyway,
he's seen Godzilla films.
Well, in this world, Godzilla films don't exist.
I know. But don't take it literal.
But I'm sorry, that's me. But there is so the way that they create the way that they control Mecha Godzilla is they have one of what's the name of the creature from the King of Monsters, the three-headed Rodan.
Yeah.
They have one of Rodan's heads. And I guess in his brains, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are essentially connecting, which they never explained that the son of the guy that was really connected to Godzilla is controlling Rodan. There's a Mecha Godzilla. Like he is the same dude. He's the son of the guy from the first Godzilla movie, 2014.
I didn't pick up on that.
Never explained it, but that's who it was. But anyway, so he's controlling Rodan. I guess he blames Godzilla for his father's death, but really Godzilla and his dad was cool.
Yeah.
You know, he decided to stay behind to do what he had to do
To
to
save
save
Godzilla.
Godzilla, which will save the world.
Yeah.
So, you know, he sacrificed himself. Uh, you know, I'm talking about the guy that said, "Let them fight." That guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, in this, so you have Mecha Godzilla being controlled by this guy and one of the Rodan heads. But obviously, it turns heel on him and it starts.
I mean, you knew it was happening, though. You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, once they introduced that, you knew how this movie was going to end,
Mm-hmm.
which sucks that you actually know. But the moment, you know, when it happens, I mean, I don't know about you personally, but for me in a theater, I had the biggest emotional moment ever. I started to tear up because I know we were going too far, but
we're getting the axe.
Yeah, he's getting the axe, but
and you notice in the skull of a dead Godzilla.
No, I didn't notice that. I did not.
That's a blade. That's one of the spines of Godzilla. And so in this world, in this center of the Earth world, um, Kong is king there.
Yeah.
You know, he
I
literally
feel like
has
this
a throne.
moment when he's got the axe and he's raising up above his head, this is the moment where he became King Kong.
Mm-hmm. And he goes to his throne.
Yeah.
And
I think his next movie, if it is a sequel to this, it'll be called King Kong.
Yeah. And it's going to be him in this world, which, yeah, I'm down for. So, and then also there's like a Godzilla like remains.
Yeah.
Like one of Godzilla's ancestors. So Kong and Godzilla are both from this world. Like through the generations, they've been fighting each other for years, and you know, and so their fights are like really a fight of the ages. And yeah,
it is. It really is the fight of the ages. But one thing I love about this movie during their fights,
mm-hmm.
you know, when Godzilla does have him defeated, he's on top of him, and he's like, it's like body language, but it's like, quit, give up.
Yeah,
I'm the king of the monsters here.
Yeah,
and Kong refuses to quit. Yeah. And that at that moment, I was like, yes.
Yeah, there's a moment where well, I thought Kong was gonna like just submit to Godzilla because Godzilla got his feet on him,
yeah,
and he's like screaming in his face like, yeah, like stop, or I will kill you. And Kong is like, no.
Yeah.
he's like screaming at him like I could scream back at you.
Yeah. But the woman said it earlier. Kong bows down to no one,
mm-hmm.
and that came true. And you know, and you think Godzilla's gonna kill him, but he gets up, and he walks away. And
we got the Rodan head here. Now I'm fast forwarding it, but hey, this movie's generously not that long either. It's like only an hour or something. So
hour 53.
Yeah. So which is the way it should be. It's enough time to still get your good fights in. But yeah, they are they're touching the Rodan head, and that's when they found out that the guy is like chilling in the side of there. Which, you know, he looks in and sees dude plugged in. But yeah, what do you think about this whole subplot about Rodan? Like not Rodan, but Mecha Godzilla.
I didn't hate it. I figured they were going to do something similar to this. Because you know they're not going to kill Godzilla or Kong. I mean, even though they said one of them will fall, and it is true. It is, the slogan is true. One will fall.
You know what? They have always. You know, I just realized this with this movie. Every Kong movie, well, except for Skull Island, I think, and I don't know about the original one from like 1933 or so, but every Kong movie, like the one in 78, 79, and then the 80 something, all this with his heart. He has a bad heart, and here his heart starts to give out.
Yeah.
But they need to shock him back, you know. So him and Godzilla has like a tremendous fight. I'm trying to hurry up and get to that part. Right now, here
they had to bring him back, as you said. They had to shock him, and yeah, it was a that was an emotional moment as well for me. I was like, oh man, he went down again.
So what Godzilla breathes fire. He's in Tokyo or somewhere. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but he breathes fire and into the center of the earth.
Yeah.
And looks at Kong, essentially says, "What now? What are you gonna do?" And and Kong looks up, and he's screaming down there, and then Kong looks at him, and he screams back at him, and Kong is like, "Oh, you want to go? Let's go." And I love when he grabs the axe and he just like slide,
Yeah.
jumps in there and um,
And hits him inside the head with it.
Yeah.
That also reminded me of Thor. Going for
Look, it's when he notices that it.
Oh yeah, that shot right there was like
he crushes him.
Yeah, but that shot there of his
I
eye
love it.
was from like the theme park attraction.
Oh really?
Yeah. You get up that close to his eye like that, and it's probably
was the animatronic Kong.
Yeah.
There? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was an awesome moment, and he picks up the axe. Oh, you know it's on now.
Yeah. So Kong finds the spine of a Godzilla, not Godzilla, of a Godzilla before, and he takes it, and it's lit up like it's glowing blue like Godzilla's spine does, but that's a weapon that all the Kongs would use.
Yeah.
It's not like they would use it against the Godzilla species, and now the fight is on because they're about to. He's about to jump on and make his way. Oh, here he is. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna start it right there. He kaboom! Ha! He punches him, grabs him by his head. He's trying to break his. He's trying to do that where he twists his head off.
Yeah.
And then he also tries the thing where he splits the mouth back. Like he has a way of splitting lizards, like that type of.
But the whole fight scene in Japan is just. It's amazing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Just to actually watch the cinematography of it, the monsters going at it. I mean, it's so cinematic, and it makes me feel good watching it.
You see how Kong noticed that? Oh, so I can use this.
Yeah.
Like Kong notices that, and it hurts Godzilla. So he uses the blade, and the blade is the only thing that can actually pierce the skin of Godzilla. Because it's made of him,
mm-hmm.
And so, and then Godzilla is using that breath ray to try to take out Kong. At that part when it hits his arm, I think it catches him on the shoulder or something. Yeah, right there, and you can see his fur is burning. Like it's so good. This whole fight scene is good, and I don't mind it being at night because it's lit up by the colors of Tokyo. Like the buildings and stuff.
This was an amazing fight scene. It was like out of a video game, actually.
Do you think that was a reference? So Kong tried to climb a top of a building. You think it's a reference?
Yeah, it's a reference to the original King Kong, no doubt.
Right.
But
we gotta keep talking because we're watching the movie now. But yeah, so they make it. Was that like the ride too, Brandon? So he.
You're in like a tram on the ride. Okay. You're going through New York City as Kong's attacking the city. So I mean, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, it kind of is. Some of the shots they did was kind of like the theme park attraction.
Was it built for that Kong ride? Was it built for the Peter Jackson Kong? Was it built
original
Kong?
Okay. Well, I would say the original King Kong, but maybe like the 70s version. But yeah, it was. Oh, I love this when he blocks.
Yeah. Explain it to him.
Well, he's blocking it, and he's going to hit him inside the head with an axe, and Kong's going to go falling back down, and Godzilla's going to fall down too, and bye-bye, Godzilla.
Yeah, crash into like makes him stumble. It's like watching wrestling, and Hogan, and this is okay to compare. It's like Hogan and Andre. That moment when Hogan hits Andre to the point where he stumbles and lands in the ropes, ties himself up. And you're like, oh, he can fall. It's such because in this movie, nobody ever gets Godzilla really off his feet because supposed to be the king of
Yeah.
all monsters, which I think that title goes to Kong, not Godzilla. But I digress.
That was the second fight, which Kong won that round because he used the axe.
Mm-hmm. But it was a great moment, as Brandon alluded to. So Kong has the spinal blade axe, which would be a great weapon to have, like a real toy, a kid to have. Man, it'd be awesome if it lit up. But he had it, and he goes, and he's jumping, and Godzilla's trying to shoot him with his blue breath thing, and he's coming through, and he's blocking it, but then he gets right up there and just pop. What does it remind you of something? Didn't they do something like that in, like, I want to say Superman movie, or something, or like maybe it's when the first Man of Steel with him versus Zod.
Yeah,
Where
he did something similar.
Something similar where but he's like he ends up beating him and just
Yeah, something similar.
But this one, the impact of hitting and connecting with Godzilla knocks King Kong back and knocks Godzilla back. Now Godzilla gets back up. His spine is lit up. He's charged, and Kong is now that is a call to the original movie because he's hanging off of the needle. Boom! He catches him right into the building again.
Yeah, getting ready for round 3.
Yeah,
which is coming. The
good shot. So he just catches him with a right. He's on the back of Godzilla, and just like giving him elbows and crossbodies.
Yeah.
But then he bites him. Godzilla fights dirty. He fights dirty. Godzilla does. Dirty fighter.
You gotta do what you gotta do, but the moment is coming where Godzilla's gonna get the best of him.
And he's dragging him.
Well, yeah. Technically, Godzilla won the fight. 2-1.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, but Godzilla also is being defeated by Mechagodzilla later on, and has to be saved by Kong.
Look, and he catches Kong's foot. It reminds me of Cole trying to bite at my feet. But
this is the moment
he's scratching his chest.
He's scratching him all up in his chest.
And it hurts. It hurts to look at.
This is a pivotal moment in who King Kong is. That he won't quit. He defies him.
Yeah.
And that's when I think Godzilla Kong earned his respect.
Yeah. Like Kong is pretty much at the end of his life right here. Godzilla could just straight kill him right now. If you want, he could breathe on him. There's nothing Kong can do, but he yells at him. But so is that, you think this is Godzilla respecting him now, or just telling him to back down, and then he respects him when he yells back at him?
I think he respects him when he yells back. He's like, he's not going to bow down. I think that's a moment of respect right there. Definitely.
Yeah.
He
lets his feet off of him. Yeah, and he turns around. He starts to walk away. Kong tries to get up, but he stumbles, and he's hurt. Kong is hurt.
He's hurt.
He breaks the building. Poor people. All these people are dead. Don't talk about that.
Well, I mean, you should. I mean, what can you do? You got 2 Titans here.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing.
If you got 2 Titans there, the idea. But what I do love about this that Godzilla didn't do in the first movie, they spend too much time focused on the people trying to run out of the buildings.
Mm.
In this film, it's about them fighting amongst the buildings. You don't see anyone, and I'm glad you didn't see people.
There's only one point where you can see them fighting. I think it's maybe when Mechagodzilla comes online and starts fighting. There's one point you can see people in a cafe somewhere inside the building.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
But I'm glad they kind of left the people out of it because
this would make an amazing game.
Yes, it would. Because the audience just wants to see Godzilla and Kong go at it. That's why we're here.
That's what I would love to see. Is honestly because they're owned by the same people. Pacific Rim, they need to be in this.
They tried, and that second Pacific Rim flopped, and it was really
and killed it.
It's like no one's interested in this property.
Well,
and it's not that.
No.
Del Toro wasn't involved.
Yeah, you change up the people that's in the movie.
I think 1 or 2 people came back, and they changed. Like Charlie Day came back.
Yeah,
his character was completely different. He was annoying. In the first movie, he was actually entertaining. Second movie, just annoying. But I love this moment when Mechagodzilla comes online.
Yeah, so they're backing up, and the dude's giving his little uh acquiescence about like what he's gonna do. I'm gonna rule the world and blah blah blah, and there's profit and blah blah blah, and they're listening to him, and then like they just like start noticing it, and then they just start backing up, backing up, and then like actually he mentions he said, "Man, I'll never get to hear the rest of that speech, that bad guy speech or something."
Yeah,
but
explain why he was doing what he was doing.
But he's dead.
He's dead.
But it was great. It was a great moment because usually they let him, the bad guy, say their elaborate things, and but you know at the same time it's like I love it. Yeah, it was great. This is probably the best versus movie that I've seen. There's not many versus movies. You know, back in the day, I liked Jason versus Freddy or Freddy versus Jason.
I still find it to be a fun movie,
but you know,
it's not what it should have been.
Yeah, I think my issue with that movie is unfortunately is that I wish that Kane Hodder played Jason.
Oh, if Kane would have been in it, would have been a lot different.
You know, nothing against Ken Kirsinger, but
he was fine.
But he was fine, but he's not Kane Hodder. You want to see Robert Englund and Kane Hodder playing off one another.
Especially Kane, because he promoted that movie for so many years.
Yeah.
And they did him the way they did him, and it was wrong.
Yeah.
But you know, it's Hollywood.
Yeah, it's Hollywood. But yeah, but I think that's why it doesn't resonate. Yeah, it doesn't resonate well with me. And I love that this final fight is in the daytime. So they fought through the night. Now it's daytime, and you can see Mechagodzilla, his spines and stuff like that. He's really impressive. Not to knock him, man. Like it's.
Yeah, he was impressive.
Yeah.
And he just whooped Godzilla. I mean, there ain't no way you can say he dominated him.
Yeah, yeah. He's essentially, but they never explained. So does Rodan's skull just take over?
Yeah.
Or his brain waves, I guess.
Yeah, just take over.
Okay.
But we're coming to that pivotal moment where Godzilla is about to be killed, and this is where I actually teared up because you know the little girl's telling Kong. You know, when they're going to save Kong, they're going to give him that shock, get his heart beating again.
Look! I love this shot inside of the boardroom.
That actually reminds me.
And then boom!
When he's taking Godzilla's head and just smashing it everywhere. Mm-hmm. Reminds me of Terminator 2. Robert Patrick was doing that to Arnold.
Yeah.
Great moment, but yeah, they're going to bring Kong back, and you know he has that pivotal moment because Godzilla's about to be killed.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no. But when Kong just shows up and jumps on Mechagodzilla and hits him, gets him off of, man, that was just. I got goosebumps.
Do you feel like, and this might be controversial, but do you feel like the little girl character, was she necessary or unnecessary? Is she essentially just there just so that we can show that the humanity of Kong? You know, you know what I mean? Like that he has a connection to her.
Yeah.
Is that the only reason why she's there?
Yeah, I mean,
she literally says nothing but in sign language. But that's her character.
But it is to show that he has, you know, he's got humanity. You know, he's not this evil monster that we would think he would be.
That all the other movies, except for Skull Island, portrayed him today. But I guess no, they didn't. All right, so if you ever watch,
on Skull Island, they did the army put. They thought he was the enemy.
Well, the thing about Skull Island, what they did really well with that is that before you introduce the Kong, we are with the characters, the human characters. Yeah. You know, and then
that is the only movie where I don't mind the human characters.
And like even the Peter Jackson stuff, I didn't really like Jack. I'm not a huge Jack Black guy, but
I love Jack. But I loved him in that as well.
But the human characters was like they're like okay. But it takes a long time to get there. But with the human characters in Skull Island, I felt like it took off because it's already in Nam, and then like it just like.
I mean, it helps when you got Sam Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Playing that kind of character, and you got John Goodman, who is, in my opinion, one of
the
biggest underrated actors ever.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
And most people probably just think Roseanne or The Connors now.
He's
but
really good.
He's really
have you ever seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He's brilliant in that. And then also what's that one movie that's a sequel to the monster movie. Uh, I'm blanking on it, but he lives in a bunker in the house.
Oh, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Yes.
Yeah, he's great now.
Yeah, he's so great. So paranoid and stuff. You think he's a bad guy, but he knows what he's talking about.
But he is a bad guy.
Yeah.
He did kill a woman.
Yeah.
So he technically is bad.
Yeah. That's true. You're right.
But as I was saying, when Kong comes in and saves the day, he saves Godzilla. That moment, the fact that he's saving Godzilla, who just literally almost killed him.
The little girl says, "Hey, he's not the
enemy.
He's not the enemy.
Yeah,
that's the enemy." You know.
Yeah.
And so they I'm trying to get to that point where they shocked him.
But when you were seeing that, I know you're watching on HBO Max. You didn't see it in theater. Emotionals. Where were you at when you saw Kong coming flying in?
Oh man, it was like, for me, it's like, so there is a ex machina. It's a ex machina is a term that is used in literary stuff, but also in films. So Deus ex machina, God from above, the machine from above, or whatever. So in the movies, usually when there's a movie where there's people getting beat down or destroyed, about to be killed, sometimes somebody comes from above to save them, and you're like, oh wow, there's somebody from to save the day. And this was a Deus ex machina moment when King Kong comes in to save the day, because Godzilla was about to die.
Yeah, he was,
and to a machine, you needed that. You needed that one thing to come into, like, and then when they tag up, you're like, oh man, just so good. It's like whenever you watch like Avengers, and you see Thor throw the hammer, and Captain grabs it and beats somebody, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's just so great to see them working together. You felt that moment when
you felt it.
Yeah,
when he's getting up and he's getting angry and he's hitting the building, and he's just just I'm like, it's on now. But in that moment, he's jumping at Mechagodzilla.
Like right now, Mechagodzilla is just literally
wiping the floor.
Yeah,
with Godzilla.
Wiping the city.
Yeah, the city. And
he's
that shot of his eye. I mean, it just, oh man, it's.
And you never seen guys, and he's trying to open him up to do his fire breath.
How Godzilla killed one of his victims in the original. Oh, there,
Actually, I killed him. Rodan.
Yeah.
If we're gonna be literal about it, but yeah,
that moment right there.
Godzilla, King Kong grabs him, and oh man, you see him riding the back of him. He smacks him with his tail, and then he's about to punch him, and then Godzilla comes in, and then like he grabs the other arm. Oh, I'm describing it. I feel like JR for real, Brandon. But it's a slobber knocker. But,
it definitely was a slobber knocker.
But yeah,
seeing them team up and just beat, and that was an inverted attack.
Yeah,
Kong inadvertently helped Mechagodzilla right there, but seeing them team up was just a huge moment.
And then Kong realizes like how to work with him.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to stop him, and they're trying to stop him on their own, but not really doing a good job. But then when they actually team up,
I hate to say a throwback, but it kind of reminded me when they started teaming up. It reminded me of Hobbs and Shaw, when Hobbs and Shaw finally teamed up.
Yeah, that's a good reference. Yeah.
But it was a huge moment.
Because and that's a good reference, because in Hobbs and Shaw, whenever they were, every time they fought Idris Elba, they would never get him. Like they weren't working as a unit.
No.
In this, once he grabs the axe, and then Godzilla realizes, oh, let me light this up for you and stuff like that. Then they really start flowing, and then Mechagodzilla couldn't stand a chance. But then also they gave him an advantage by shutting him down.
Yeah.
But he's dead. Like he's literally dead now, right? Or does he still work?
I think his brain's still going, and Godzilla gives him an assist, lighting that axe up.
You see, it scared Kong at first. He's like, oh, what's going on? But then, like,
But he just goes to town with that bats. It's like, oh.
And then
this could actually be the moment where he becomes king too.
Yeah. I mean, but then he takes the he's destroying him.
Oh, but there's the moment
right here.
The big kill.
Boom. Off with your head. And does Godzilla do anything? No, it's all calm right now. It's all calm.
Kong is king.
Kong is king. Yeah, man, I loved watching this again. just and you can tell he's hurt. Look, I love
the helicopter flying by.
You see this? I love the way his body references the building. You see that?
Yeah.
So he stumbles into the building.
Yeah.
And parts of the glass breaks.
Yeah.
But that building should be fortunate because it could have been much worse for that building.
Yeah, it could have been.
But Alexander Skarsgård, he survives, and just that scene of let's go ahead and get there. There's a scene of and this is the second time we get Cal again.
I think he shows up 3 times.
So he shows up once, says, "Where's my daughter?" And then she try to explain that she's in Tokyo or whatever. And he somehow makes it there faster.
He was wasted in this. He really was. But
how can you find her in the monks? I guess I don't know. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but yeah, he found her.
Yeah. At least he was in the movie. He could say, "I was in Godzilla versus Kong."
Yeah, that's why. And this kid's like, "It's not my fault. I wasn't there." But yeah, let me go ahead and get to. Whoa.
And they take him back to Skull Island.
Well, before that, I love this part where they acknowledge one another. So Kong gets up, like he's ready to fight. He feels like, oh, I gotta fight again. But then like Godzilla, and it's what I wish right here. When they was like right there, and that little girl runs up. I was hoping Millie Bobby Brown runs up to be next to her, and they both see them and see that they're not that different from one another.
Yeah.
But no, there's never a moment again of Godzilla and Millie Bobby Brown.
I mean, you're right. It should have been a moment because of their connection in King of the Monsters, but
you gotta need that, bro. Just take it on with you. I guess he can't light it up nowhere unless he has to call Godzilla again to light it. But I don't think they're gonna be enemies no more. I think. Do you think that Godzilla is leaving it to Kong now to kind of be the Titan for the world?
No, I don't think so.
Or do you think Godzilla's still going to be the Titan for the world? And that's why Kong ends up in the Middle Earth, or whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it, center of the world.
I think that moment was just
acknowledgement of
you're my equal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think that was. It's like, I got respect for you. I think if they do another movie with Kong and Godzilla in the same movie, it'll be a team-up movie.
Yeah. Like, there'd be a different... I don't know all the monsters.
We probably will get, like, a Justice League version of the monsters.
And is this... Technically, this is Universal, right?
No, this is Legendary. WB,
okay. Okay. Well, that's true. Because,
I love that he's just swinging.
Yeah, he's swinging, but he's home.
He's home,
and he's the king. No. Ain't nobody gonna tell me any different there. He's good there.
He's good there.
But they didn't have any. There's no mid trailer.
No,
there's nothing after the credits or anything. The fight was great, Brandon.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
it was an excellent fight. It was, if you take all the human stuff out of the movie, I think everyone should enjoy themselves watching Godzilla vs. Kong. If you have an issue with the human side of the story.
Yeah, and you can honestly don't even worry about the human side of the story.
They just pass the time by.
Yeah, but it's not
give you a little break from the fight.
It's not as overbearing as it was in King of Monsters.
I agree.
They were like always there and just served really no purpose. Even Ice Cube's son just was there. But
I forgot that he was there.
Yeah, O'Shea Jr. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen it, so.
But no, I guess You got tech. If you've never seen this movie, we've ruined it for you. But if you have, if you want to go back and watch them in viewing orders, I would advise you to watch Godzilla, then King of Monsters. Uh, Actually, if you want to do it chronologically, watch Skull
Yeah,
Island,
that'd be first.
then watch Godzilla, then
Yeah.
watch King of Monsters, and then watch this. Even though I agree with Brandon, I agree with you. There should have been a movie, a standalone Kong movie that connects, gives you more connective tissue.
Yeah.
But when we don't have that.
No, we don't.
But
I think we're gonna get it.
you think we'll get a prequel versus? You think they
I
would go
think you'll
straight
get us.
prequel before they do a sequel to Godzilla and King Kong? Or they'll probably call it just
I don't know if
the
you'll get
Kings
it.
of Monsters.
I don't
What you
know.
call it.
I don't know what the next story
The
would.
mega powers.
I don't know what the next story would be, but I do eventually think you will get a Kong story before this.
So, let me ask you this question: because you've seen it in theaters, this is your first real, not your first experience going back. You went back a week before, but
Yeah.
how was the experience going and seeing this in theaters?
It was great. It was a great atmosphere. I got the 4:15 showing. 4 o'clock showing sold out. So I was like, okay, that's good. I mean, people are actually coming
There's
back.
people that's actually there, so it was still a big crowd then.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
pretty big for a 4:15 show. I mean, I had a great time. I would say I probably enjoyed it more than people watched it on HBO Max
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, it's something about a cinematic experience. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
than watching it at home. I prefer cinemas over at home, but it felt good watching it in a theater. You know, it just felt like things were normal again.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty good crowd, and me and my son both greatly enjoyed it. And
So I want to pull a Brandon.
pull a Brandon.
Brandon always references Box Office Mojo. I was curious to see. So far, it's done 13.9 million.
That's
You know?
that it?
Yeah. I wish you had showed me what it was made for. Can I click on it and tell me, or
Yeah, should tell you it's whole.
so? Here, I'll let you decipher those numbers. So, but I asked you those questions about that because
Yeah, because it's made 70 million domestically, 268.6 million overseas, and its total right now is 338.6. It's already a hit.
so it's already made its money back.
Plus what it's done on HBO Max.
Plus what it's done on HBO Max, and I think that's a benefit, and that's what my point was too, to ask you that, because I think that in this world that we live in now with this pandemic, you got to have both places in order for people to experience these movies. Like, yes, there's gonna be some that would really love to go in theaters, eat the popcorn, whatever, for you, Nathan's hot dog, and
it's a hot dog.
yeah, and just enjoy the movie. But there is those that wanna
Just watch it at home.
watch it at home, and I think you gotta have both of them, and you gotta have it cost efficient. So if you have HBO Max, I love that they're releasing a lot of their stuff on here for us. But yeah, I do look forward to the point of going to theaters to watch stuff like Halloween. Halloween Kills is a theater movie for me. So and I can understand why this would have been like, this is totally an IMAX
Yeah.
type of thing.
My friend Tiffany, her boyfriend and his kids saw it in IMAX. They said it was great watching it in IMAX. I didn't get to see it in IMAX, but I bet it was amazing to watch this movie in IMAX. And it was like, for me, this was like returning to cinemas. This is the movie to watch if you're excited about going back to cinemas.
This is the movie to. This is the movie. So this is the movie that you would set up to be the go back to. This is first. This ain't even summer yet, but this would be what would you consider first big summer blockbuster? Yeah. Even though it's not, it's just a few months early, but it's what this is going to be. That's going to usher us into that.
But it's proven people, will go see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Anytime I get to see King Kong, I'm still gonna call him King Kong, guys. Anytime I get to see Kong or Godzilla, there's always a great thing. And And so I'm glad that it worked. I'm glad that people are going to theater to see it. I'm glad that people are watching at home, and I can't wait to see what they do with a sequel. I'm glad it made its money back, so there will be sequels. It's profitable.
Yeah, because I think when this movie came out, the expectation was this was going to be it. Because the other movies hadn't
Because the
done.
other ones flopped. Godzilla flopped.
The last Godzilla flopped. The first one, I think, at least broke even. I think Kong Skull Island kind of broke even, or close to breaking even. So it hasn't gotten the reception they thought it was going to get.
Yep.
But this it broke, it broke it, their expectations, and now they're talking other films. So, and I think the main writer or the studio exec says he's got a few stories lined up.
Yeah.
So I assume the stories would be Kong and Godzilla, but I think Mothra would get one too. I think you gotta include other monsters.
Yeah, there's other monsters out there. Yeah.
I think they should be lower budget films, not like super low budget, but lower than this. I would say between 90 to 100 million. Because they're not as well known. I mean, they're known if you're a diehard Godzilla fan, you know the monsters, but they're not as known as as Godzilla or Kong.
Right. And
but I would love to have more monster films. I mean, other than Kong and Godzilla.
So if anybody's interested on Amazon, not Amazon, but on HBO Max, you can actually check out Godzilla versus King Kong. I don't know how long it's going to be on there. It's only for a short period, then it goes straight to theaters. I think that's what they did with a lot of stuff they released on here. You can still see Justice League, but there's also Godzilla King of Monsters, and then it looks like you got the original 1954 Godzilla, which that's a man in a suit, man. But yeah, that was a revolutionary. Then you got King Kong 1933 Kong on there that you can watch. Son of Kong, the one I was referring to, which is 76. It's Jessica Lange. Those that don't know Jessica Lange, she's on American Horror Story in a lot of episodes.
A lot of episodes.
Yeah, a lot of seasons. I mean, and then also other stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and give our marks. So
I'll let you start.
All right, I'm going to give this movie, because regardless of the human element to it, I'm not there for them. I'm there for Kong, and I'm there for Godzilla. I give it 5 Markouts out of 5.
Wow,
because I wasn't bored watching it. I never was bored. And
man, you really upped it from what it was a week ago. I like that though.
Yeah,
I think talking about it and seeing more of it.
Yeah, talking about it and seeing it. Yeah, just seeing it again, and then whenever you have somebody to play off of, and they excited. I think I did that for you with the Blazing Saddles. I think up your score a little bit. So, yeah.
You know what? For me, originally I gave it a 4.5. But you could just tell I'm excited. I mean, I bought a freaking hoodie for this. I mean, 5, just because it's a matchup you would love to see. And honestly, I didn't think we would ever see Kong and Godzilla fighting each other in today's world.
Yeah, granted, they have fought before back in but it was like there's two versions. There's the Japanese version, the Toho version, and then there is the American version. But but they were pretty crappy looking guys. Come on, but yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad when Godzilla came out in 2014, it led to a Kong film, in which I still think Kong Skull Island is the best MonsterVerse film.
I agree.
It's just something about Kong, though. I think it's a lot. It has a lot to do with him. There's just something about him. You see his film, and he just makes it fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
He makes you feel like you're a kid again.
I agree.
And Godzilla, for me, doesn't, but I still enjoy it.
I agree with that. Yeah, when I see Kong, it immediately takes me back to childhood. It's like seeing. I don't know what it is. It's like seeing Superman. I immediately think,
Yeah.
Like I'm a kid and it's Chris Reeves, but for me, it's Chris Reeves.
And for some people, seeing Godzilla reminds them of childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend, Cody, massive Godzilla fan.
He's a mark for Godzilla.
Oh, he is. So I know when he sees something like this, he just loves it. And he told me I would love it, and he knows how I am about Kong anyway. So,
but don't get it twisted. This is Kong's movie. It starts with more Kong.
Yeah.
It ends with Kong. It sets up more of Kong.
And I understand. You understand why Godzilla was doing what he was doing. It wasn't a huge story arc.
Yeah.
But it was enough, and I like that. Like, you tried to get rid of me.
Mm-hmm.
I will show you need me a lot more than I need you people.
That's right.
And so I love that. That is one thing I did love about this movie with Godzilla.
So next week, that's I guess is the end of this episode, ain't it?
Yeah, that's the end. I mean, we went over.
Yeah,
so.
That's fine. But we had fun talking about it. I actually love this episode. Give us a 5. But next week we won't be filming. We'll be. I have vacation, a day of vacation. Brandon's gonna be getting all shot up with some COVID vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
And
I expect to be sick.
He's getting the Johnsons. Or did they change it for you?
I don't know.
I thought they stopped the Johnsons.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have been affected terribly by them. I hope you get the Pfizer's or whatever. But yeah, that's not.
They didn't actually tell me on the phone, so they just told me what time to be there. So I was like, okay.
Good luck to you.
I'm gonna need
it. Yeah. So next week, I hate that we won't be with you, but
I'll tell you this: if I'm feeling up to it, we'll do Lovecraft Country. That's Thursday. If I'm up to it.
If he's up to it, we'll do it next.
I'll let him know.
Yeah, let me know. If not, then do you know any plans of what we'll do the week after?
It would be your turn.
Oh, it'd be my turn. Okay. What did we buy? What did I have you buy recently?
Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah. Also, Forget Paris. Did you buy that?
Oh yeah, Forget Paris.
Well, it'll be a toss up. Hey, quick poll, and I have Brandon put it on our Facebook. A poll: do we watch Harry and the Hendersons or do we watch Forget Paris? I'm pretty sure Harry's gonna win, but
probably.
But it's not even an even matchup, is it?
Not really.
All right, so maybe Harry and I can talk to you about this after this, but we thank you for and Brandon got running some ringwear. All right, wait. Peace, y'all. Thank you for watching the whole time, Bill for the Hobbit. I love it. Thank you. But hey, man, we thank you for watching and marking out with us. Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spotty.
We're the Markout Movie Podcast. Thanks for marking out with us.
Thank you.
You gonna beat your chest like that?